I want you to look at these two households. On the left, we have Mark and Sarah. They are a power couple. They bring in $160,000 a year. They live in the right zip code. They drive the right cars. On the right, we have Dave and Jenny. They make $85,000 combined. They drive used cars. They live in a boring neighborhood. Now, here is the riddle. If both of these couples lost their jobs today, Dave and Jenny could survive for 2 years without a paycheck. Mark and Sarah? They would be bankrupt in 90 days. We are witnessing a new phenomenon in the global economy. It's called being high income poor. We have millions of people who are statistically in the top 10% of earners, yet they are living with the financial anxiety of someone on the poverty line. You aren't broke because you're buying too much avocado toast, and you aren't broke because you don't work hard enough. You are broke because you have fallen into a mathematical trap that was designed to consume your second income before it even hits your bank account. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you the hidden audit that explains where your money is actually going, and I'm going to give you the exact protocol to escape the trap without quitting your job. Let's be honest. If I told your grandfather that a household making $160,000 a year was struggling, he'd laugh in my face. Adjusted for inflation, that is a massive amount of money. So why does it feel like you're drowning? It's because of a concept in business called operating leverage. Imagine a company. If they have low expenses, they are safe. If they have massive fixed expenses, rent, debt, payroll, they have high operating leverage. They make a lot of money, but they spend a lot just to keep the lights on. You did everything right. You got the degrees, you got the dual careers, but because you have 2 incomes, the bank approved you for a mortgage based on 2 incomes. The car dealership approved you for 2 leases. You built a financial structure that weighs 10,000 pounds because you have 2 engines to lift it. But here's the terrifying part. If one of those engines stalls, a layoff, a sick child, burnout, the structure doesn't just slowly descend, it crashes. You have 0 margin for error. You are technically rich, but functionally fragile. But surely, you say, having a second income is better than having one. Is it? Let's do something that nobody ever does. Let's audit the net real hourly wage of the second earner in your house. Let's say partner B takes a job for $65,000. That's $5,400 a month. That looks like freedom money. That looks like a new boat. That looks like maxed out savings. But let's run it through the trap calculator. Deduction 1, the marginal tax cliff. In the U.S. tax system, your income stacks. Partner A's income fills up the lower tax brackets. Partner B's income sits right on top at the highest tax rate. Federal tax, state tax, Social Security, Medicare. You lose about 30 to 35% right off the top. $65,000 becomes $42,000. Deduction 2, the Childcare Tax. You cannot work 2 jobs without someone watching the kids. The average cost of daycare is now nearly $15,000 per child. 2 kids, that's $30,000, and you pay that with after-tax dollars. $42,000 becomes $12,000. Deduction 3, the commute. 2 jobs means 2 cars. Gas, insurance, maintenance, depreciation, even a modest commute costs about $6,000 a year per vehicle. $12,000 becomes $6,000. We aren't done. Now we have the convenience premium. When both parents work 40-plus hours, nobody has the energy to cook from scratch. Nobody has the energy to deep clean. So you order takeout 3 times a week. You hire a cleaner twice a month. You buy the pre-cut veggies. You pay for convenience to buy back your sanity. Conservative estimate, about $4,000 a year. $6,000 becomes $2,000. That is your net profit for the year, $2,000. Divided by 2,000 working hours, you are working for $1 an hour. You are stressing yourself out, missing your kid's childhood, sitting in traffic, and dealing with a toxic boss for a net profit that wouldn't buy a cup of coffee. This is the two-income trap. The system absorbs the second income through inflated costs, leaving you running twice as fast to stay in the exact same spot. So why do we do it? Why not just have one person work? Because we are in an arms race. Back in 1970, most families had one income, so the price of a house in a good school district was bid up by families with one income. Once dual income became the norm, suddenly every family had twice the borrowing power. What happened to the houses? They didn't get twice as big, the price just doubled. It's like everyone standing up at a concert to see better. Once everyone stands up, nobody can see better. But now everyone has tired legs. You are trapped in a bidding war for the basics of middle-class life: safety, education, and health. And because everyone else is throwing two salaries at those things, you feel like you have to do the same just to keep up. It's not greed, it's fear. So how do you escape the trap without moving into a tent in the woods? You need to implement the 50% protocol. This is the golden rule used by the truly wealthy, not the income wealthy, but the net worth wealthy. The rule: you can have two incomes, but you must structure your mandatory fixed expenses to fit on the lower of the two. Partner A makes $80K, partner B makes $60K. You live as if your household makes $60K. You buy the house that a $60K income qualifies for. You drive the car that a $60K income can support. Bobby, that's impossible. Have you seen house prices? I know. It requires a radical downgrade in status. It means you don't live in the A+ neighborhood, you live in the B- neighborhood. It means you don't drive the 2024 SUV, you drive the 2016 sedan. But here's the payoff. If your life costs $60,000 a year and you bring in $140,000, that gap, that $80,000 surplus, that is nuclear financial power. When you live on one income and save the second, you can max out retirement accounts in 5 years. You can pay off a mortgage in 10 years. But most importantly, you regain your no. When you need every cent of both paychecks to pay the bills, you are a slave to your employer. You cannot say no. When you bank the entire second income, you have FU money. Boss demands you work the weekend? No. Company doing something unethical? I quit. That isn't just money, that is sovereignty. The trap of the modern economy is convincing you that success looks like high spending, but real success is high flexibility. Your grandparents had it with one income. You can have it with two, but only if you refuse to play the game by the bank's rules. Don't use your second income to buy a golden cage. Use it to buy the key to let yourself out.